any interesting, kind of trend that you've noticed that's going on specifically that you could let us know?
I mean, I can think of really interesting photographers who are doing wonderful work right now.
Okay.
And some of it varies quite a lot. There's, and I think we were talking about it before, Khatija Farah.
Right.
Who's a fabulous photographer. I've just recently been looking at her work, and it's just really good. It's thinking.
Yeah.
She's really thinking about...
It's being intentional about the narratives.
Yeah, totally.
And everything.
I love that. I love that word, intentional.
Yeah.
And I think that she's sensitive and she's keyed into the story, and it gives space. There's a lot of wides. It's beautiful work. It's really, really beautiful work, and she's right up there.
Right.
She's right up there. Yeah.
Because mentioning Khadija, right, and how she's being intentional about everything that's going on, I remember there was this whole row about what photography might mean for a Kenyan photographer, right? Most especially when you come to legislation, payment, and how stories might develop, right? With arrests happening in town, and not trying to be too negative, but do you feel that maybe there are certain challenges that photographers might be facing in the country and in this landscape that maybe you want to overcome?
I recently, and I think it was something that we shared, like her tweet quite recently, which was that she was hanging up her camera,
right? Yeah.
And moving on, which I kind of thought, oh goodness, that's so sad, because she's good,
right?
She's really good. And my initial thought was, it is a hustle. Photography right now is a hustle. 100% in Kenya, because there's more and more competition. Everybody wants it, and yes, there's these international photographers that are coming in,
right,
and doing essentially what she could do, literally off the top of her head,
right,
and so easily, and well. But I felt sad in a sense that she was hanging up her camera. I felt that I kind of thought, you know what, she needs to perhaps go through the healing process and the burnout that she's talking about, and get through that healing, and then pick up the camera again and make that statement and continue. Because if she hangs up, she's given up.
Right.
And that makes it sad.
It makes it that much harder to even pick it up again.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
I mean, still on the subject of the tweet, remember she was writing, you've brought it up, about external photographers coming in, either as expats or some of them, she said it quite controversially, are working on visitors' visas.
Right.
And was kind of like drawing this contrast between what it's like to be a professional photographer, right? Because I think of the same fatigue I have felt.
Yeah.
You only have events, or you're doing product, or you're doing fashion. But when it comes down to telling our own stories, where do we place ourselves, and do we have the same space to kind of own our narratives in a way that's meaningful for us?
First photos. What was your first photo?
My first photo was a photo of my brother running out of the bathroom.
Okay.
And it had his little bum. It was shot on a Kodak KB90. Do you remember the old flash?
Amazing.
Point and shoot type thing. With the roll-up film and everything like that. I had asked for a camera for my Christmas present, and I was 7 years old.
Amazing.
Yeah,
okay.
It's ridiculous. This was being reminded to me by my mom the other day. So he was running out the bathroom, and I took it, forgot about it, went to the national park and took very touristy photos. And when we went to develop the film, they were like, "What is this?" And it was just a very happy photo. I think.
And
I
did
still
they
have
love it?
I loved it.
You loved it.
I loved
That's
it
so
completely.
important.
Yeah. So that was it. I don't know. What was yours? Did you just know the first time you took a photo?
No, not at all. And I don't, even to this day, talking about this self-critical thing, I don't even think it was all of a very good photo, but it was just what happened around it. So I was at boarding school. Okay. From the age of 13, and I had just arrived in England, and I was miserable. I was totally miserable, and I didn't know whether I was Arthur or Martha. I was
you
literally
were all over the place.
Yeah, and sad about being there. So, but the school that I was at offered this photography class.
Okay.
So they gave us all cameras, and we walked out, and all the kids shot a picture in the grounds of the school, and then we came back, and the teacher then developed it in the darkroom, all the negatives, and then he came out and he held up all the negatives, and he got this one shot, and he was like, "Whose shot is this?" And it was the shot that I took, and it was of a Zimbabwean statue in the gardens of this English school. And he was like, "I think this is a really nice shot. We're going to develop this shot. The whole class is going to go into the dark room and develop this shot."
Wow.
And it honestly, it wasn't it was in focus and it's fine. It was fine. But what that tiny little thing gave me was just the first warm feeling that I'd had, and I was so miserable.
Right.
And I suddenly felt, wow.
Oh, finally, here we are.
Maybe I do have something. And it was almost like such a tiny thing. And I went on to just stick with that teacher, and I did photography GCSE,
Oh, wow.
I did photography A-levels, and that was it. That was the end of it.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I just think it's really about just the, I suppose the confidence that you get from one person, and it's amazing what teachers can do.